Aeration is on, not a time low. So food. I'm stood on top of the pond in my Japanese boots. Anywho, so topping up the feeder. In here is FD build-up sinking, and Sake Hikari balance. They are the food of my choice, and yeah, many people don't know, but actually FD is the company is owned by a guy called Kenny Baba, whose dad worked for Sake Hikari, so they were trained there. He himself, I think, worked at Sake Hikari, and the food undergoes a lot of testing. As you can see, the fish go nuts as soon as the FD hits the pond. They just gobble it up. But most of the bodies, one of the things no one talks about food is also not just the smell and whether the koi likes it, which is important, but as you know, most things you throw in the pond, the fish will eat. It's not only the body shape, which is important, but also what's it doing internally to the fish? Is there fatty deposits around the organs? Is it going to blow the swim bladder out over a couple seasons? One season, in my experience, which for 20 odd years of keeping koi, one season is not enough. I think you need a couple of seasons feeding. Sake Hikari, I know this for a fact. I'm not sure about FD, but I imagine they do the same. In their test ponds, they do euthanize fish, dissect them after feeding so many times to see what deposits around, what sort of health the organs, the internal organs are. So food has a lot more to do with what's it doing to the koi, externally, but also internally, pond water, all those things. So yeah, so I'm just about to top up my feeder. It's still running. This was probably one of the first ones in the UK. That's why it looks so smashed up, but it's still running. I dropped it and cracked all this up, but I managed to fix it myself with these fair hands. Yeah, so I'm about to top these up, and the fish are doing really good. Bodies are looking quite Japanese, I must say. If you've been to Japan, you know what I mean. This big sockeye fish here, Sanki, gorgeous thing. Sadly, it's sold. I don't know why I sold it, but anyhow, that's now Yonsai at 80 cm, 80 cm at Yonsai. And yeah, so just my thoughts on food for those food lovers out there. But buy what you can afford, but also think about your fish health internally, long term. What's it doing to the fish from the inside out? All right, just my thoughts. Now let me get back to work. Yeah, there you go. So just finished, topped up that feeder. Spring is felt like it's in the air. I'm sure a lot of you across the UK will feel that way, although it meant to go a little bit colder next week. But yeah, fish are all good. Feeder's been topped up. And just a little bit, look, I talk about food because food is important to koi, and it's a good way to start springtime thinking about what you're going to feed. I buy all my food in bulk, get a bit of better price that way. Yeah, so I use that feeder, which would actually be moved over here once these covers come off in a few weeks or so. A lot of people ask about those lights. They're Philips lights. Super expensive. I think there are cheaper ones out now in the market. So yeah, looking really good. These fish. There's a nice tancho shower there from Takigawa Hasei-san fish. Yeah, followed by Tomura Sanki there. Sakai fish. Sanki there won a few awards of that. That's actually been sold as well, because a few fish go in from here. I'm making room for my fish in Japan. That will come in autumn. So the pond, although it looks decently stocked, I wouldn't say overstocked, because the filters and the size of this pond, 6,500 gallons, give or take. That was my 50th birthday card. That always drops her eggs at the National. Matthew, you would love that at the National this year, cleaning my vat. Matthew Stevens, or Matt Stevens, I don't know why I have to call him Matthew, maybe because he's so much older than me. So yeah, that fish will be hopefully at the National, but I don't know. They got to be conditioned, they got to be, the body's a little bit down for me after, so I'm gonna feed in Saki Hikari balance and build up. This Kajaku, believe it or not, 2 years ago, 33 cm. Bought a batch from Omasaku, kept one back female, and that's pretty big. I haven't measured it recently, but I imagine 68 to 70 cm. Sansai came at 33 cm. So the goal of the next number of weeks is just to get the pond ready for spring. Not going to feed too heavy, but got to feed something, because we need the bodies in prim condition. Let's go over to the filter house, because some of you may not have seen that. Yes, so this is recycle RO, 2 bottom drains into this drum. You see my drum here, I got it on the board. I keep records of what I've treated. That's the drum that I use. Incoming source water gets cleaned up there, because Severn Trent is junk. 2 meter double Baki showered, 400 kilograms of Baki house media in that thing there, the coffin I call it. 2 bottom drains into a flow friend pump, up and over. Tee off of that 20 micron, 5 micron into this. You might have seen Andy Finch from Finch, fantastic filling station, came and put all this in. pH control a little bit high, the pH, not bothered, because the KH will come down as I begin to feed. Love a KH of 1 and below with a pH of 7. So right now it's a tad high, but we can live with that till we start feeding a bit more. There's a dosing tank. Don't know what else to show you. That's the temperature there. Yeah, so these are all the pre-filters. How much pre-filters do I have? Enough so I don't have to wash the things all the time. Andy tells me he's coming up with something that I don't need to do that. So hopefully we can get him here before he reaches 91, which is in about 1 year, 2 years time. Anyhow, let's make our way back out. Oh, let me show you one more thing. This pump here, which is plugged into here, is a great system because if I knock it off, it still runs because it has a 9-hour battery backup. So no matter what happens, there's always going to be air going into the pond. So if you have a power failure, this pump here would deal with it. It's a little bit noisy, you can hear it. I have one in the quarantine as well, and they are a bit noisy. If you turn it a little bit down like that, it's fine, but I like to, because the air curtain, I'll take you back and show you. It's 70 cm below the surface, it's not on the ground. So yeah, let's go back and see the air curtain. Yeah, so yeah, I've got lots to do today. As you know, spring has sprung, so oh, my pear trees. You can see the buds coming out in my pear tree. There you go, sign of spring in the UK. Anyhow, covers are opened today just to let some sunlight into the pond. There's the air curtains there that we talked about. So if there's a power cut, that will run for 9 hours. And usually by then, power will come back. It's a wasp. Wow. Ooh, just came by. Anyhow. So yeah, they're all feeding fine. They're doing good. No issues with these at all. And like I say, they are raised on a diet like what they get in Japan. So I just stick with that in that way. So hopefully you'll make the National Koi Show. It is the last weekend of June. I should know this because Matthew has put it on my anniversary, which my wife is not happy about. But so June, I want to guess it's 28, 29 because that's my anniversary weekend, the 29th. So I'm hoping I am right. But yeah, if you can make your way over to the National this year, it'd be great. Maybe you would see some of these fish on these videos. You'd see them at the National, not that one. That Takigawa has to get no sumi up. Maybe if there's a Tatikoi prize. So if you can make the National Koi Show this year, that will be great. As I said, it's the weekend of the 28, 29, something like that. Just Google it and you'll find it. Google is everyone's university in that way. But the sun's out, time to get the hobby back up and running. And I don't know if there's any koi shows about. I'm quite busy at the moment, so I don't get a chance to go online. But anyhow, if you want to find out more of what I'm doing in the hobby, jump over to Instagram, search Rasta Koi on Instagram. You could find me there. I'll put a link in the description. Also TikTok. We're on TikTok as well there. So hopefully you'll be able to follow us on there. If you have any questions, anything, just send me a PM. There's a couple of fish I'm prepping for the koi show. What I mean prepping, I'm trying to get the bodies up in Japanese style body, not fat fish but bodied fish. It's quite a difference, and it's a skill really to get it because we're in the wrong season for shows in the UK. We tend to do it in the summertime because of the crowds, but not best for the show, for the fish I should say. So we should be doing it probably more the winter time. So it's difficult with the bodies and the skin because of the warm temperatures or warmer temperatures. And then as it happens in the National, every time the VAT fluctuates temperatures, my fish tend to drop eggs, which the volunteers at the National do love. It's nothing to do with males, it's just a swing in temperature. If you get a pond that swings temperatures too much, the females will drop their eggs. You don't need a male present to do that, and you should know that. I had someone who's quite up in a koi hobby, didn't really understand that at all, but in Japan they know. Trust me, the breeders know. That's why they keep all their oyagoi, which is their parent, at a locked temperature, because if that pond loses temperature, and it drops and then they put it back up, the females will drop all their eggs in the pond. And I've known of that happen to a well-known breeder. Okay, so this is my QT system, which is a EZ Pond 500 and a Happy Combi filter. So you can see, again, same like most drums, except this has a clever seal deal thing. Bottom drain straight through the drum into, I think, 300 liters of this, I don't want to touch it, Elex thing, just wash my hands. And then some of what they call their Red X, which is their version of Japanese matting. I got 2 air pumps in this. There's one over there, and there's that one that has a battery on it, like what you just saw earlier as well. Sorry for that if it startled you. That's the control. It's just a basic control, but does the job. That's the control box for the pump, MDM pumps, which I use there, which is a fantastic bit of pump kitting. You could pick up as well one of those. I am not sure who stocks it in the UK. Maybe Absolute Koi, I don't know. Anyhow, you can get that there. That's the quarantine system there. There's a scope I use, which is actually Michael Snaden's old scope. So yeah, you can see a few badges, some of the what do you call those, some All Japan Koi Show. Anyhow, I just showed you all those bits. So this is my raincoat that I got a few years ago when I went to the Hiroshima Breeders' Show. I managed to, oh, here you go, the date's on there, 2023. Yeah, so that's a little bit of memorabilia for you. And this thank you to Gray's Koi for my Hikari calendar. Yeah, so I'm having a koi at the Wakagoi, which is going to be through Gray's Koi, Anthony and Stephen Gray. So keep an eye out on that. I'll look on the website grayskoi.com or .co.uk, one of those. And yeah, I think they've got 1 or 2 more fish left for purchase that could go to the Wakagoi. If you're interested, give them a shout. So yeah, so this is this system there. Peace out. Can't beat a bit of beef jerky from Bass Pro. Advantage of flying in and out of America and Canada. Anyhow, feeder's going off again. Of course, this is later in the day. Sun is out more. Yeah, looking good. Yeah, something I need for you to do for me is YouTube analytics. Anybody who has a YouTube channel perhaps knows what I'm going to say. But the sun's nice. YouTube analytics tells me that around 65-70% that's watching and enjoying the videos haven't yet subscribed, and that's perhaps due because I think on my channel lots of people watch it on TV and some on phones and tablets. But if you can, for a moment, just stop the video or log in via your phone or your computer and hit that bell button, that like button. It would help the channel grow. Why do I need a channel to grow? I guess I don't need it to grow, but if it does grow, it means I could do more content. And a lot of you enjoyed the last video, the Quinnykoi video of their shipment. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going back to Quinnykoi to film some of the fish that's coming out of QT, which is especially some Ueno show there that looks really good. So I want to film them as well. So yeah, if you enjoy the content, then please hit that like button, hit the bell notification, and you will get to see more. So anyhow, I'm gonna finish enjoying my beef jerky. Now, that's all from me. Hopefully this content will get you up and about and looking after your pond. Do like and subscribe to the channel. And by the way, I have one of these nets left. I brought some back from Japan, which is these Matsuda nets. Yeah. So I only brought back a couple. I had one spare, well, I had two spare, and somebody came to collect the fish and they bought that one. So there's one. If anybody wants it, send me a message and I could get it to you by post. I think £15, or you could swing by and collect it. Postage is £15, not the net. But if you PM me, I think the net's about £105 or something like that. I can't remember. Have to look at the PM and I'll give you the price. Anyway, that's all. Goodbye. Oh.